Sensation. Hi, I'm Alexi Pukanikin, and we're balling today, tomorrow, and most definitely yesterday. At what cost? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 23 of season 2024, and officially it is summer. So summer has finally kicked off. Officially, it's June now. There's no more messing around. I know in Finland, at least, we were lucky enough that it started a little prematurely, but here we are. Now it's the real deal, Holyfield. There's no more waiting. We're here. This is the summer now. So we got to make the most out of summer, and there's always going to be crazy shit going down in the summer. So I'm excited about a lot of things, obviously, but before that, we gotta get into what just happened just before June came along, or just as June was here and arrived, and now we also gotta see what's ahead up in the future. What makes this summer so exciting for us? Okay, I know we got a ball. I know we got to think about the cost. But so do these athletes, man. And a lot of the cost is getting to them now. Now the Ballin and all the cost, it's all circling together, coming together. And look, listen, there's been a lot of things going on. But let's just talk about what has happened real quick. Last weekend, we had UFC 302 in New Jersey. And, people were excited for this event. I was excited for this event. But let's just say by the time the event got to us, even though we thought people were going to get slept, we were just sleeping. We were sleeping as the audience members. We were sleeping. Because no KOs, no TKOs throughout the whole evening, and 9 decisions out of 12 bouts. So, yeah, seriously, you would expect New Jersey, the way they promoted it, everyone's going to get slept. Motherfuckers are knocking each other out left and right, choking each other out left and right. No, dude. We were sleeping. No one was getting slept. We were sleeping. For me, it was... Look, personally, usually, if I know for sure there's some fighters I want to see in early prelims, I'll watch the whole freaking event. But there really weren't that many matchups that I had to see in the early prelims or the prelims. So then I was sleeping. And thank God I was sleeping, because 9 decisions during this time would not have been fun to just sit through. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure some of them had more action than the others, but it was just that there was no dominant performance from one person. Maybe the UFC matchmakers got too good. Like, that's always an option. They were too good. Like, we don't want them to end too fast. And then all of a sudden, every single matchup, it went all the way to decision. It wasn't until in the prelims, the second last fight of the prelims, Jailton Almeida, who is a questionable fighter in the heavyweight division. We don't know if he's actually the bad, dangerous motherfucker that he is. Like, we're a little unsure. We're skeptical, okay? Because obviously he can grapple fuck the shit out of you, and that's just put it lightly. But at the same time, Curtis Blades, the last fight he had, Curtis Blades just, it wasn't a great performance on Almeida's half, and Curtis almost made it look easy. So there's a little bit of that, unsureness when we come to Jailton Almeida. There's nothing that makes me question his, he just looks like he can really mess someone up, right? And he is one of the more built guys in the heavyweight division, right? Like, honestly, the second most built guy after Cyril Gane. That's, ranked personally. But now he's number 7 ranking in the heavyweight division. He just submitted Romanov in the first round, and Romanov was 13, 12 or something. Let me double check here. 13, ranked number 13 in the heavyweight. And I'm looking at the heavyweight division right now in the UFC, and I'm just like, I'm looking, anyone above number 7 ranking in the heavyweight, like they're all like legends or elites or like main event, co-main event type of names. Like at least in the level of ability they have. So I really don't know what Chilton's going to do now. He could either just be there. Listen, most of the top 5 heavyweights, they're all strikers. They know how to kick and fucking punch, which Jailton Almeida, I'm not saying he can't, but his specialty is just somewhere else. And right now, I don't really know what it's going to look like for Jailton Almeida. I mean, if he still wants to fight in the heavyweight division and not try to cut weight to light heavyweight, then I don't really know. I think he just has to continue fucking up lower ranked fighters. I don't see anyone else in the higher division. I mean, like Curtis Blades is number 4, and Curtis Blades is beating him. I just don't think UFC would match Jailton up with any dangerous fighter up in the top 6 that could just run through him. Right, because then it's just like, oh man, like he has all these cool submissions, dominant performances, but it's just like he can't really do much. So I don't know. Maybe just let him fight lower ranked guys for a couple more, like a year, and then reevaluate. Then maybe throw another monster at him. But anyways, Jailton Almeida looking dangerous as hell, and was one of the first performances where it was like, oh shit, okay, this guy obviously had a bit of an edge. Then we go into the main card, and before the co-main event, there was Kevin Holland, and he gets knocked down by Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, and gets knocked down, instantly goes for the arm bar, grabs a hold of the arm, gets the good position and gets the good grip, gets a hold of that arm, and goes on and trailblazes the shit out of that arm, turns it into a goddamn pretzel. I mean, whew. Those Polish guys, first of all, those Polish guys are next level. Those Polish guys. This guy got his fucking arm twisted into a goddamn pretzel. All the fucking ligaments and muscles and bones just freaking meshed up together into a fucking bowl of soup, right? And then his arms just fucking all over and he's still like, ref, what are you doing? I like I could have fucked them up. Like what, dude? These Polish guys are next level. But hey, man, so is Kevin Holland. So is the Trailblazer. Just he's gonna be one of these legends that just keeps the UFC entertained as hell. Nobody cares if he gets a chance to fight for gold. That's not even a conversation, because the only conversation is stylistically, how does this matchup look for the Trailblazer? And Trailblazer comes in, does his thing, big mouth, smart, witty, handsome. Shout out to Kevin Holland. He is killing it in terms of keeping the fans entertained, and arguably, he got the performance of the night bonus. So it just comes to show, at the end of the day, Kevin Holland puts on a show for everyone, all right? And that gave us a little bit of momentum going into the co-main event. Sean Strickland goes against Paulo Costa and does what a lot of people were expecting, at least in terms of just MMA. Sean walks Paulo down with his jabs and front kicks. Sean Strickland's lower half is built like a fucking tank. I mean, his legs are like those fucking soccer dad dudes who wear New Balances. Like, that's how sturdy his legs look. So, in terms of trying to... Look, Paulo was landing some heavy low calf kicks. But at the same time, Sean was a little bit bothered by them, but still, like, persistent with the pressure, even after eating leg kicks like that. And yes, look, guys, at the end of the day, Sean's fighting style is favored to go decision every time. Like his fighting style is not a style where it's like I'm knocking you the fuck out. Right. That's more Paulo Costa style, right? He loads it up, he calculates, he loads a shot up, bam, 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 loads a combo up, bam, bam, bam. That's more like it. Sean is more just consistent. Bam, 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 bam. You know, like it's just consistent, like nonstop. So it is effective. It is 100% effective, but the entertainment value could be always questioned a little bit, or it gets questioned, but still, I mean, it just takes a certain level of savage. I mean, it does, in a sense, look a little bit boring, but it's like, it's just the fact that Paulo Costa, being the fighter that he is, just wants to load up every shot, try to get the accuracy 100% with the power and everything, effectiveness and technique. So with that being said, Sean still just walking towards that. That's scary, man. That's no fun, dude. Like, it takes a lot from any type of fighter to be able to do that type of stuff. So yes, it might be a little bit boring, but if you really pay attention to it, if you really like think about the concept of it, like just that, yeah, there's this danger coming my way, but I just got to get closer all the time. So then maybe it's not as dangerous. Like, come on, dude. That's like horror movie type of shit. What? Like, you got to get closer to the thing that might kill you. Come on. So Sean Strickland, shout out to Sean Strickland, man. Yes, he got the split decision win. Some people might have even argued that Paulo Costa won the fight, okay? But this is the way he fights, all right? And at the end of the day, he understands it. It costed him before. Like, it almost costed him. People would almost argue he won the Dricus du Plessis fight, right? So there's plus and minuses. Next time, though, if I'm going to give Strickland some coaching advice, because I'm a professional at this point. Go for a head kick, because that last 20-second, 10-second, whatever head kick landed pretty flush, and it was a nice head kick, and you knocked him down. You knocked Paulo Costa down. Maybe if you did that like round 2, round 3, maybe try to sneak in a second one or something. That's a good looking head kick, man. So Sean, think about that. That's pretty much like 3 baseball bats hitting someone's head at the same time. So consider it. I like it. And shout out to Sean Strickland. Shout out America, man. Shout out. I'll just throw this in there. Shout out to Donald Trump, man. I'm gonna say this right now. Shout out to Donald Trump, man. Like, I can make this a bit more into, my other podcast, but it takes a certain also different type of savagery and balls to get freaking found guilty of 34 charges, and then the same weekend you pull up to a fucking sporting event and the whole motherfucking audience is cheering for you. That's balls. That's aura. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. And Sean had a beautiful moment with Trump. So it's all nice and dandy over there in the UFC. The social circle in the UFC is wonderful. Like, it's actually wholesome. It's actually positive. There's nothing negative internally. Everyone's having fun, man, for the sake of entertainment. So that's wonderful. Shout out to fucking America, dude. But anyways, main event. We go into the main event where Dustin the Diamond Poirier gave it his all to trying to find a way to take Islam Makhachev down from the lightweight throne. And Islam is as dangerous and effective and a fucking skillful martial artist as you can be. I mean, this guy's built out of rocks, man. I watched the whole fight. I watched it all. And it was like, I understand sure, Dustin has the hooks. He has the hooks that are dangerous, effective, but dude, how are you supposed to throw that hook when anytime he could just go down to your legs? Like, how are you supposed to be like this and like ready to throw the hook when he could just be going straight down? Like, I get it, man. How are you? And then, I think the most effective moments for Dustin Poirier was when he was, he was in the clinch, and then the distance was closed up, right? But there still could be some striking. Dude, Dustin was fucking just, there was a moment where Islam was holding the back of his head like double-handed, and Dustin was just bam, 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 bam to Islam's open body. Nothing. Just nothing. Like not even any kind of like physical reaction. Like Islam just stayed there still. Like bam, bam, nothing. I don't know, man. Islam Makhachev seems so dangerous, so strong. Every time that he grabbed Dustin and took him down, it was just, I was holding my breath for Dustin. It was that dangerous. I mean, it just, either way, though, I will have to say the fact that Dustin got finished in the 5th round comes to show how great his defensive knowledge is when it comes to MMA. So to be able to defend that well against arguably one of the most aggressive, MMA techniques or, game plans or fighting styles, it's just ridiculous. So Dustin Poirier did try his best. He gave it his all. And it just shows how great he is also. Overall, I mean, yes, Alexander Volkanovski, he's one of the greats. Charles Oliveira also, one of the lightweight greats. Islam beat them both, and in some ways more dominant fashion. I know the Alexander Volkanovski first fight is mentioned. You got to put that there, which was a little bit more even, but it shows how great Dustin Poirier is. Just that 5-round lightweight, just being able to last that long and still give something back. Just shout out to Dustin Poirier. Shout out to the Diamond. He's still going to be around for a while. I hope so. He's such an entertainer at the end of the day, and he is still so skillful that, yes, I know the age is getting to him and all that, but I still have faith in him to be able to perform inside the octagon. So shout out to the Diamond. Shout out to Islam Makhachev as well. I know I talk more about the Diamond, but Islam Makhachev just showing his dominance, showing that he actually does deserve the pound for pound number 1 title. Although John Jones is close second. I'd say if John Jones was a little bit more active, he'd be pound for pound, but John Jones at the end of the day, pound for pound all time. But that is all the news about the UFC that happened over the weekend. Just had to give you that thorough recap because now we have a few fight nights. Then we go to Abu Dhabi, and then we get Conor McGregor versus Mike Chandler. Guys, the month of June for the UFC is looking fucking beautiful. But let's move on to the NBA. We are going to the finals, the championship finals. This is it. This is for all the glory. For all the glory. Game 1 is on Friday night. I checked. Celtics will have had 10 days of rest and practice and recovery. Mavs will have had 7 days of rest, practice, recovery, preparation, whatever you call it. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have had, you already kind of know my opinion. I'll just write it down here just to, put it down on the whiteboard. But ladies and gentlemen, I've already given my praise enough or my predictions. But the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks right now, look incredible. The storyline is immaculate. I mean, like, personally, the fact that, like, Mark Cuban is technically, like, out of there after this season, in terms of ownership at least, I think he sold majority of his stake. Maybe he's still a minority owner. Maybe he's just there kind of like Dana White, more of like just for the press type of thing. But Dallas Mavericks been building up to this point in a long time. They've been building up to this point ever since they drafted Luka Doncic, okay? And Luka Doncic, arguably one of the best basketball players ever, because I just think the fact that you win the EuroLeague MVP at 18 years old and just winning that is just insane. Like, before even technically turning pro, in the NBA at least. So that's just insane. He is just a baller. Luka Doncic is just a purebred baller, right? And then now you've thrown Kyrie Irving in the mix. And Kyrie Irving, been through a lot ever since winning with LeBron James in the Cavs. Been to Brooklyn. Boston, then Brooklyn. Then now he's here. I think that's how it goes. But Kyrie Irving, I mean, he's been through the ringer, man. He was expecting great things in the Nets, didn't really work out. He was expecting great things in the Celtics. He didn't really fit in, even though he did his thing. I just think this team around him, it didn't really fit everything. Just considering Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were there to begin with, and those are point scoring guys. And then you throw Kyrie there, he scores points too. It was never meant to be. With that being said, it's been a long time coming, and Kyrie Irving finally found a place where he feels comfortable and he gets to be the most effective, be his vintage Kyrie. With all of that being said, there's still other great players like PJ Washington, Derek Lively, who is arguably like he should have gone the fucking conference finals MVP. And lastly, Jason Kidd, legendary player. At this point, pretty legendary head coach too, and they're putting it together in Dallas, and they're gonna give Boston Celtics a hell of a run. And I've, on the other hand, neglected the Celtics a little bit. I've said that they've had an easy path to the finals. I personally just haven't paid attention that much to their games. I watched a few, but I don't know. I just haven't paid that much attention. But today, I'm going to give the praise that they need, because I think there's one character or person that we do not talk about in the Celtics, which I personally think is the difference maker. And I think the difference maker at the end of the day is their head coach, Joe Mazzulla. So Joe Mazzulla was promoted to head coach after the former head coach, Ime Udoka, started messing around a little bit, started chasing ass within the Celtics staff. I mean, that's just him. That's just the lifestyle he lives. That's his personality. I'm never going to fucking knock him down for that. At the end of the day, he's the head coaching for the Houston Rockets right now, so it's not like he's, suffering. So that's that. But Ime Udoka, at the end of the day, was actually a really effective coach. You can't say he was bad. He took the Celtics to the finals in 2022. And with that being said, after messing around, chasing ass and all that, Ime had to go. And in his place, Joe stepped in. Joe Mazzulla. And I got to tell you, Joe steps in, and he is no average Joe. No. My man Joe might just be one of the more entertaining and unique people to have ever coached a professional team. And at the end of the day, it's because he keeps it a buck. My favorite moment that Joe Mazzulla has had in the NBA was when, what the fuck are their names? Like Kate and Harry. I think that was their names. They were courtside at a Boston Celtics game. And then in the press conference, a reporter asks Joe, she asks, "Did you get a chance to meet with the royal family?" To which Joe answered, "You mean Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?" Because that's the only royal family I'm familiar with. There you go. I mean, taken out of the context, it's hilarious. The comedic timing is kind of funny, right? But if you really think about that one, what is he trying to say? It is comedic, but Joe right here, he's keeping it real as it gets, man. He lets everyone know that he's a man of God, and doesn't disrespect, but he's a man of God. You know, that's what he believes in. He doesn't believe in all this other hoop-de-da stuff. Okay? And so if you really think about it, if Ime Udoka was the horned up devil of the NBA coaching world and took pretty much almost the same Celtics team to the finals, lost out to the Warriors, then I think Joe Mazzulla, the wholesome angel of the NBA coaching world, could possibly take the Celtics all the way to a championship final win. I can see it now. I can see how if Ime Udoka just brought out like the freaking, like more of like the animalistic, like, oh, let's go out there and fucking kill him shit. If he's bringing out that type of energy, and they went all the way to the finals, lost out to the Warriors. But Joe, he's in the locker room going like, guys, I believe in you all. We've trained hard for this. We deserve this. And if we put faith in each other and faith in the Lord, then we can beat the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the Celtics might actually have a chance with the likeliness of freaking Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Derek White. Doesn't sound too bad. Not at all. So this matchup, I had to really dig deep for this angle too. But now it's like an angle that I believe in. So before, when I was considering Mavericks win in Game 5, now I'm saying Mavericks win in Game... Oh, that's an ugly E. Game 7. Actually, I'm going to fix that E. That bothers me. Handwriting was fine on the other ones. Oh my God. I don't know if that made it better. But anyways, Mavericks win in Game 7. I do think so. I think the Mavericks have the ability to win a game in Boston. But I think the Celtics have the ability to win a game in in Dallas. So I think it goes all the way to Game 7. Because I think there's also the other factor of I think the Mavs are maybe going to get a little bit caught by the Boston crowd because they're notorious. I mean, they're just next level. I mean, they're just savages. I mean, like, they're just savages. Like, they just don't give a shit. Like, they really... I mean, the biggest savages are the Boston Celtics crowd. So, Mavericks in Game 7. I'm not going to worry about it that much later. Of course, I could have gone up here today and been like, Luka Magic, Kyrie Irving's the GOAT, Dallas Mavericks, they're going to win that shit. Game 4, Game 5. But after further analysis, after further review, it's going to Game 7. Okay? That's how we are feeling about the NBA Finals. Now, we have F1. We have F1 in Canada. The only time drivers in Canada are actually getting paid, because those truck drivers, they're suffering. They're going through a lot. They're not getting fucking paid. So the only drivers that are actually getting paid is when fucking Formula One drivers are in town. But yeah, in Montreal, the track, as you can see here, perfectly drawn and replicated. It's fast. It's really fast, like with a lot of straights as soon as you get out the slow corner. So there's like the first, like 1, 2, those are slow corners. 6, 7, also a little bit slow. And then, of course, you have the beautiful hairpin right there. But otherwise, these guys were fucking flying. These guys are flying. And I think this is one of those weekends where, you know, we've seen Monaco, we've seen Imola, we've seen Miami, kind of like the last 3. And they've three different winners. So, Miami, Lando won. Imola, Verstappen won. And now Monaco, Leclerc won. So the consistency with Red Bull is definitely not that prominent anymore. So I think after the weekend, if we're just looking at the weekend now, I think the Red Bull either shows that their car still has the edge over the McLarens and the Ferraris, or they're all pretty even in terms of pace after the weekend. I think those are like the only 2 conclusions we can like realistically get. It's like, okay, has Red Bull just kind of, you know, they just came into the race weekends a little bit weak the past couple rounds, and then they're going to just get everything together and their car's still on point and, you know, better than everyone else's car? Or is it like, nah, dude, Ferrari and McLaren are there now. Like, they're definitely, like, pace-wise right up there. So that's definitely, like, the number one conclusion I'm going to try to draw out of Canada. And talking about individual drivers, the Latinos, Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, they're going to have to give it their all against their teammates this weekend. Because, you know, theoretically, at least they're in the bottom 2. They're in the bottom 2 right now, racing for the championship. I mean, yes, I mean, you can argue that. Max Verstappen still in the lead with 169 points. Nice. But Perez and Carlos Sainz, they're P4 and 5 in the Drivers' Championship, and they're at 107. Perez is 5th at 107, and Sainz is 4th at 108. To give you like Lando Norris is 113 at 3rd place, and Leclerc is at 138. So yeah, there is a slightly bigger gap with P1 and P2. But if we're just talking about like the rest of the season up until round 24, as of right now, Sainz and Perez, they're like the bottom 2. And they got to start consistently outperforming their teammates or being right behind them if they want to keep it alive and keep the competition alive. Because otherwise, I think Leclerc's just going to pull away from Sainz. You can already argue that Verstappen's already pulled away from Perez, but in terms of Perez trying to prove to, you know, future employers or, you know, Red Bull that, you know, he deserves to still be out on top, then he's got to start putting the good performances together, like right about now, like right about this weekend. And yeah, and moving on to the McLaren side, I think Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris is another like one of those things that you got to keep a lookout on. It's interesting because Norris obviously doing his thing this season, finally got his win. But you know, if Piastri doesn't have that much bad luck, he's right up there. And Piastri on a couple occasions has been better than Norris, right? Norris, I think numbers-wise, has finished better than Oscar, and obviously in terms of points, obviously Lando Norris is pretty far ahead from Piastri. I think there's over 40-point difference. However, Piastri has gotten pretty damn unlucky so far this season, like just bad luck type of things. And if Piastri can avoid all the bad luck, keep on improving every single round, then I can see Piastri putting on similar type of performances than Lando Norris. Like I said, I am adamant that Oscar Piastri wins a race this season. I can totally see it. I don't think it's an impossibility. But it's kind of like this is around the time when we need to see if Piastri is actually up there on the same level as Lando Norris. Because I believe so. I believe, if anything, he's even better than Lando Norris. But so far, he hasn't had so many performances that prove that. So I'm just here rooting for Oscar Piastri. I hope the bad luck gets out of the way. I hope the good luck comes in to take the place. So just shout out to Piastri, man. That guy's just a savage. I think it's just next level that you're 21 years old, second year in F1, and you're doing the things you're doing, P2 and Monaco and all that. So shout out to Oscar Piastri, and I will continue shouting him out. Predictions for the weekend. Let's say, this is nice. Canada GP predictions. Let's just say I am Saturday for quali. Oh my God, that is a quali. I think is going to be Sainz pole, because he is very aggressive with the gas pedal. And I think this is one of those tracks where if he gets it on point, he's going to be able to gain a good amount of time compared to everyone else. And I think race, Verstappen. I think Verstappen just shows that he still got the skills. He still got the ability. The Red Bull still got the speed in terms of the straights. And, that's what I'm predicting for the Canadian Montreal weekend that we are having in Formula One. Let's get into one more thing. Yeah. I forgot about this. This also happened over the weekend, Saturday night, in Riyadh. It was Deontay Wilder, the bronze bomber, fought against Zhilei Zhang, and I don't even know if Zhilei Zhang has a freaking fighting name, but listen, you don't need one when you're when you look like that, dude. I personally think so. Listen, Zhilei Zhang TKOs Deontay Wilder in the 5th round. It was a little bit, people are going to say it's a questionable stoppage. I think Deontay Wilder got absolutely rocked. I don't think especially the size and the power that Zhilei Zhang possesses. As a ref, you don't want to give too many extra shots, when it's not even necessary. So I think from that angle, it was fine. It was fine. So according, ESPN puts Zhang right now as the number 6 heavyweight, and and Wilder is the number 7. But I think this is a huge win for Zhang just because Deontay Wilder is such a big name. I think this is the biggest name he's fought so far from the Western opponents. And now it's Zhang's road to the championship. So, Usyk, as I had mentioned, Alexander Usyk is the current champion. Last month defeated Fury, right? Dude, this is how we're going to solve World War III, bro. This is how we end World War III. We just get Zhilei Zhang to fucking box Alexander Usyk. China versus Ukraine. Obviously we can't get a Russian fighter because they're all roided up. For Jile Jung, it's just fucking, you haven't caught us yet, you fucking pussies. You just haven't caught up yet. You're so focused on fucking Russian steroids, dude. Fucking brother, I'm just telling you. But anyways, dude, that's how we solve the war. Right there. The war is gonna be gone in a second if we just fucking do this. So Jile Jung, give him like Anthony Joshua or something, just so he can fight Alexander Usyk. And let those guys fight, and then the war ends after that. How about that? I'm gonna just throw that out there. I think that's a wonderful decision. I think it would solve a lot of problems, and that's how we really want it to go at the end of the day. But shout out to Jile Jung. I had to throw that out there just because he's a fellow Chinese brother, and when Chinese are winning, I feel good about it. I am winning. The world is winning when China is winning. I'm just telling you. Okay. Lastly, let's get into gridiron football, man. Helsinki Roosters, I talk about it. I'm going to keep on talking about him. We just had week 3. We went against the Lohja Crusaders. The game ended 63-7 to the Roosters. Let's just say it was you could consider it a dominant performance out of the Roosters. Everyone was putting up stats like crazy, just touchdowns for everyone. Ethan Greenfield, 2 touchdowns, hella receptions with yards, 74 rushing yards. The wide receiver, Bryce Nonelli. This guy's stats is just straight up out of a video game. 6 receptions for 91 yards, 4 touchdowns. So obviously for us Roosters, whenever we get in the red zone, we're just like pretty much unstoppable. Tarmo Pitkänen, 9 receptions, 160 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown to cherry on top of the cake. And actually defensive back Oskari Toijala also with 2 big interceptions just whenever the Crusaders thought they had a little bit of momentum going. We pick them off. That's just how we do. This was just a ridiculous performance. I don't even have to shout out the quarterback, but shout out to the quarterback, Uriansson, for just the light work, the freaking, masterclass that you put on. This week's matchup, though, is a local matchup between 2 Helsinki teams. The Helsinki Roosters go against the Helsinki Wolverines. The vibes are going to be fun and competitive. However, I predict that the matchup won't be as fun and competitive, at least for the Wolverines. So I'll be there cheering on, hopefully another dominant performance, because why not? We'll always take those. The summer is here. It's beautiful. It's tremendous. I'm going to keep myself busy. I'm going to keep on playing some sports. I've been playing so much, just being outdoors, throwing the football around. My arm is pretty deadly, dude. I got that Peyton Manning fucking arm. I'm telling you. So it's fucking tremendous, guys. I am so fucking happy. Summer 2024 season. It's here. It's official. I'm Alexi Pukanikan, and we're balling today, tomorrow, and most definitely yesterday. At what cost? See you guys next week.